Welcome, everybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about ChatGPT and how to use it in order to make better emails for your customers. I guess text messages as well. It's not necessarily limited to emails. You can actually use ChatGPT for a lot of content. The main drawback to using the AI to generate content is that oftentimes it feels like an AI wrote it. Anything that you generate with AI should be reviewed by hand by a human in order to say, is this something that I personally would want to receive if I was the customer? I'm just going to pick an example here. Let's say we've hired a new tech at our shop and we want to create a newsletter of some sort to notify people that we have the new staff and that that my customers should be aware of their credentials. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up a web browser and go to chatgpt.com. Chatgpt.com will ask you to log in. If you have a Google account, you can just log in with that. It is a free tool. There's a paid version that has a more advanced AI, but for our purposes, we're totally fine using the free tool. And then from there, you're going to enter a message down here in the message ChatGPT in order to ask for content. Help me write an email to my customers, letting them know that I have hired some new staff. So something to note here is that the quality of the content that you're going to get back from ChatGPT is totally dependent on the quality of the prompt that you write into this part here. Now you'll notice here that I wrote something really generic. Help me write an email to my customer, singular, letting them know that I have hired some new staff. ChatGPT doesn't know who my customers are. It doesn't know who I am. It hasn't learned anything about our business or what's going on. And so you'll see that it's creating exciting news, new addition to our team. And this body content has nothing to do with a mechanic shop. It's actually really generic boilerplate. Talented individuals bring a wealth of expertise and experience. And this is a great starting point, but this is absolutely not something that I would want to send to my customers. One way that you can make better informed ChatGPT generated content is by editing your prompt in order to include additional context and information that would be relevant and useful for ChatGPT. So maybe a better version of this, instead of help me write an email to my customer letting me know or letting them know that I have hired some new staff, might be so by editing the prompt and putting in a new one, basically we've thrown out everything that ChatGPT has done and we're starting over again. Something that you should be aware of is that if you don't want to throw out what it's done, you'll notice that it removed my original version. It's got this 1 out of 1, and I can see what I did, but 2 out of 2. Basically, it's putting all of the context from the first question into its own bucket and all the context from the second question into a new bucket. So any follow-up messages you use during down here is only going to look at the content that's in the bucket that we're in currently. So if I switch back to 1 out of 1 and then gave it additional context like, oh, you should know that I am a mechanic shop. If I was to hit enter here, it would continue the prompt using this, and it would say, oh, okay, let me make a new version of this email, knowing now that you're a mechanic shop. But in bucket 2, I've provided that information at the top here. And so if we read through this prompt together, you'll see that it has this information. And if I wanted to specifically draw, attention to something like they were also trained by BMW at their production facility in Germany. This only is going to impact this response and the information that it gives me subsequently down below. So before we go look at like the Germany version of this, dear valued customer, we hope this message finds you well. At your mechanic shop, we continuously strive to provide you with the highest level of service and expertise. Today, we're thrilled to share some exciting news with you. We're proud to announce the addition of an ASE certified master technician to our team. This significant hire underscores our commitment to excellence and ensuring your vehicle receives top-notch care. What does this mean for you? Unmatched expertise, enhanced diagnostics, improved customer experience, and expanded services. We invite you to visit our shop and experience the difference our new master technician brings. Whether it's routine maintenance or complex cares, you can trust that our vehicle will receive the best possible care. Thank you for choosing your mechanic shop. We look forward to serve you with the excellence you deserve. Okay, so this is pretty good, but there are some issues in here that I would recommend that we always do this hand pass. AI loves to use commas. This certification is a mark of excellence in the industry, and ensuring your vehicle is in the hands of true experts. And we invite you to visit, whether it's routine maintenance or complex repairs, you can trust that the vehicle will receive the best possible care. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong in this, but if you read enough AI content, eventually you start to pick it up and say, like, this kind of feels like an AI wrote it. We want to avoid that. And the way you avoid it is by starting with what the AI has given you and then making it your own by adding content or changing content, or even just rewriting the content as if you wrote it. Now, there is a pretty nifty trick here. This might be like an advanced technique here, but the advanced technique would be to edit your prompt and tell the AI to write it as if it was you. So if we were to edit this original prompt here and say, all right, so essentially we're telling ChatGPT who the author should be. And when you tell ChatGPT who the author should be, it will take a brand new prompt and it will rewrite it as if it was that person to the best of its ability. Now, this isn't always perfect, but it will make it sound like it came from you as opposed to coming from ChatGPT. I hope this email finds you well with an exclamation mark in there. Maybe, if we looked at the original version here, number 2, definitely no exclamation marks, dear valued customer. And then in number 3, hey, I hope this email finds you well. And so you can see that the tonality of this is much less professional, much less clinical, and now something that might actually sound like something that I would write on behalf of a shop, or something that maybe you would write to your customers. So, well, let's see. You've generated email. You like the way it looks. You think that it's a great answer, and you're happy with what its output, and you want to go further with it. You can say, all right, now I want to convert this into a text message, because not only am I going to send this out as an email blast, I also want to make sure that this goes as a text message. One way to do this is just to write this as convert this into a text message. But you'll note that ChatGPT has a tendency to say, okay, well, if you want this as a text message, it's going to include a lot of additional context in here that may not necessarily matter. Hey, customer name, we've hired an ASE certified master technician who is also trained by BMW in Germany. This means better service, quicker diagnostics, and more accurate repairs for your vehicle. We're committed to giving you the best care possible. Need to schedule the next service? Give us a call or drop by the shop. Thanks for being a valued customer. That's pretty good. But honestly, we don't need this stuff here and this here. And maybe we want to take advantage of emojis in this. So one way that you'd be able to circumvent this is, instead of asking it to convert this into a text message, is to edit the original prompt here to say, I need an email and a text message, or to just change this to say, I just want a text message out of this. So what that might look like is saying, I'm drafting a marketing newsletter to all my customers that have been to my mechanic shop between the last 3 and 24 months to let them know that we've hired a new ASC certified master tech. I want this email to underscore the significance of such a hire and to focus on the impact that this will have on my customers' experience at my shop. Please additionally write an email, or sorry, a text message for my customers no longer than, I'm going to pick a random number here because I don't really know what like the maximum character limit is for text messages, but I like them when they're shorter. So I'm going to say, let's do 500 characters and see what that looks like. And if I don't like it, we can always just modify the prompt. Please additionally write a text message for my customers no longer than 500 characters that conveys that it conveys the same as the above. Please reference the fact that they can learn more by checking their email inbox. So essentially, this last part here, please reference the fact that they can learn more by checking their email inbox. I could have done that by hand afterwards when ChatGPT gave me the messages, but sometimes ChatGPT does a pretty good job of like figuring a way to add that kind of content without needing to do any major work. So here it's going to generate a new version of the email because I asked it to, and then underneath it's going to have the text message. So you'll see that this one doesn't have the salutations, mainly because in the original prompt now, I'm asking for a text message as opposed to telling it to convert an email into a text message. And of course, the email has the signature lines, and it thinks, oh, well, if you're going to send a text message and you have signature lines, we should probably include that. So other ways that you can give information to ChatGPT, if you have like the paid version of this, you do have the ability to upload documents to it. So you can give it actual video information like or screenshots or your web URL and tell it, here is my mechanic shop. Use contextual information from my website in order to generate this email. Searching the web lets you know that it's actually going to the website to scrape content. Depending on the size of your website and how much stuff you have in there, this might actually take a really long time. ChatGPT is pretty good because a lot of the stuff is already cached. But the problem here is that I'm telling ChatGPT that my mechanic shop is Service Intel, and Service Intel doesn't say anything about mechanic shops. It doesn't have like the, here's our hours and here's the, actually it does have our hours, but it doesn't say anything about the services that we offer to vehicle owners, and that's because we're not a mechanic shop. So in this case, I know that the example that this is going to give me is actually pretty weak here. But if this was your website, it could reference the things that you have on there. Like, make sure to ask Joey for, the tour of the new soda fountain. I suppose the example is falling apart a little bit here, but you get my picture. Feeding content into ChatGPT is the fastest and easiest way to make sure that the AI has the context required in order to make sure that it's actually marketing properly to your customers. Because not only does it know about who you are and what you do, but it also knows about how you convey that to your customers in the tonality and the word choice and the type of images that you have and the composition of those images, the types of vehicles you service. And maybe even if you wanted to, you could say, search for demographics near me and write a message targeting the people that live in my area based on the website URL that I've given you and the address that we have. And so ChatGPT becomes a very powerful tool to do multi-step, data gathering in order to pull together the information to generate a message. Probably the worst thing you can do, though, is to take exactly whatever ChatGPT spits out and just give it directly to your customers. Because at all times, it's really important that you do the sniff test at the very end and say, is this something that I would want to receive? If I was a vehicle owner and I got this out of the blue. Hi, Chris, exciting news. We hired an ASC certified master tech trained by BMW in Germany. Expect even better service at my local mechanic. Check your email for more details. Yeah, that's pretty good. I wouldn't mind that. I don't own a BMW, but the fact that they're trained by BMW, that doesn't necessarily impact this message. But I might want to write this a little bit more generic, ASC certified master tech, and just leave it there instead of trained by BMW in Germany. If I was sending this campaign just to customers that we know that have a BMW vehicle, then now this makes even more sense and it's even better campaign. Is this something that I would want to receive? And I would do the same test. Just read through it and say, if I got this message at 10 in the morning, I've sat down to do work and I'm in the middle of my work day and this alert comes up on my phone and I check it. Oh, you can't see my phone, blue screen. The question is, would you like to receive it? And if the answer is yes, then you've done a good job. ChatGPT has given you good content and you can move on with your day. Okay. So as a quick review, the website is chatgpt.com and the free account will do just about everything you need, except I think searching web pages, but that may have changed between when this video is created and when you end up watching this. And that's because I think they're taking a lot of their paid features and moving them into the free version as they release new features. You can use ChatGPT in order to generate content, but it's always better when you generate content with context. And you can even go further by instructing it what that context should be, telling them who your customers are or what the purpose of the email is or the text message or whatever that may be. And you can even go further than that by providing images, Excel documents, web pages, or any other information that might be relevant to the actual message that you're generating. And all in all, you should end up with the starting point and not the ending point of what you actually intend on using for your marketing piece. All right. Thank you very much for your time.